Let's see if it works. We'll see what happens. We made it this far. Let's see if we can load this up. Amfrat was first this time. I wasn't expecting a third attempt today. I wasn't either. I'm gonna be honest with you. First like. Oh shit, we got a first like and a first comment. Goodness gracious. Look at that go. Alright. Sam, hello. Fugi, hello. Void Droid, hello. Amfright, Scooty. Goodness. Even after all of this, you guys are here. You guys are doing things. When is your wedding? It's next year. We have like 283 days or whatever that number up there says. That's how many days we got left. Well, technically it's not. That's not the day of the wedding when that ends, but it's like, you know, next year or so. I don't know if it's because I'm expecting to get married next year or what it is, but man, it feels like time has been moving so slow lately. Episode. I'm gonna do the ping for once in the Discord server. Yeah, it's gonna be in February of next year. It's gonna be great. I feel like it might be the fact that I'm getting married next year that makes it feel like time is moving slow. Cause man, it's maybe, I don't know. It could just be like the news, like how things are in the news lately or something like that. Maybe that's what's causing it. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna try to find. Goodness gracious, we're gonna try to find my favorite episode in My Little Pony. This is the list of every episode according to IMDb. I'm not gonna say who it is. I just don't want to. I just don't want to reveal too many personal information stuff regarding that. So, Frogfro, hello, welcome to the stream. We are trying to raise money for the wedding, though. That's the purpose of these streams. We're gonna be doing that much more often to try to raise that money. So we have some incentives here. We have some donation rewards. Show them, Skella. $5 or more, you get to change my Discord profile picture. You also get to have your name written on a canvas that's going to be part of the actual wedding. And if you donate $10 or more, not only will I draw your character, but you also get to make a post on my Blue Sky account. If you donate $15 or more, you get invited to a virtual wedding, which is the second one we're doing, so that people that donate and support have a way to participate in it. And if you donate $20 or more, you get to become friends in Ponytown. And we don't just have the donation rewards. We also have milestone rewards or milestone situations and stuff like that. If we reach 200, we're gonna give away nitro giveaways. I'm pretty sure we reached that in the last live stream. For some reason, the bar didn't go up when that last person donated. So we're gonna be doing a nitro giveaway probably in the next stream or something like that. I'm not sure yet. Once we reach 300 on our goal, we'll do a live autism or ADHD test. And if we reach 400. Towards our goal, we'll do a cooking live stream. I'm not sure what to cook yet, but we'll figure that out when we get there, if we even get there. So that's kind of the stuff we're going for here. Did the stream just end? It's still going for me. Damien, welcome. Zero Never Hope, welcome. Kicking down doors and storming in. Why the YouTube didn't tell me that you're streaming? I don't know. It does that sometimes. I mean, it's pretty obvious if you just watched his videos recently, but that's his privacy, right? I guess. Try refreshing. Yeah, try refreshing. Leave the stream and rejoin. Sorry guys, I broke it. Close and reopen if the stream stops. What's wrong? The profile picture change in Blue Sky is so risky. Well, it's within reason. Obviously, you can't do anything like super inappropriate or anything like that. And the profile picture change is only for the day, and that's on Discord, not on YouTube. So there's stuff with that. But anyway, let's try to figure out what my favorite episode is, ladies and gentlemen. I kind of went through this briefly before, but I think the season 1 episodes are not the peak My Little Pony, if you know what I'm saying. They're really nice, they're really comforting and stuff like that, but I don't think things really start to get good till maybe, honestly, season 2 is pretty good. Yeah, I have to approve it, obviously. Like, there's limits to it. I like the first 2 episodes. The very start of the series is pretty good. Immediately, though, I'm disappointed by the next 2 episodes. I don't really think I like the Ticketmaster or Applebuck season. I definitely don't like Applebuck season. We're trying to find my favorite episode, and Applejack is one of my least favorite characters in the show, so we can immediately say that any episode that is like her as a main character is not going to be one of my favorites. We could say the same thing about Rainbow Dash, though I think Rainbow Dash has 1 or 2 episodes that are better than Applejack's episodes, which is weird to say. Griffin the Brush Off, I mentioned this briefly in the previous attempt as well. This one is good just purely because of the satisfaction you get at the end of the episode. Once I get a job and get money, I'm gonna get him to change his profile picture to inverted Skella. Oh shit, not inverted Skella. Ghostbusters is also good. So I think it's interesting because we go from kind of 2 episodes in a row that I'm not really a big fan of to 2 more episodes in a row that I kind of like a little bit more, and then actually 3 in a row because Dragonshy is pretty good too. I like that one as well. Look Before You Sleep, I'm not really a big fan of that episode. Some of the situations in it is kind of ridiculous and kind of stupid. I would rewatch MLP, but unfortunately I'm watching Breaking Bad. I might come through. I still have my avatar change ticket unused. I don't know why you haven't used it, River. You need to use it. Goodness gracious. The Look Before You Sleep is kind of stupid if we're being honest. It's just a ridiculous situation. Yeah, I don't like Applejack. Bridal Gossip. That one's actually, why did they use Applejack as a thumbnail for this picture? That one's actually a pretty good episode. I actually kind of like this one. I don't think it's gonna be my favorite though. Again, it's a good episode, but definitely not one of my favorites. Swarm of the Century. That one's kind of interesting too. I like it because it introduces like creatures and stuff we've never seen before. I'll use it when I find something good. Winter Wrap Up. This may be controversial, but I'm not a huge fan of Winter Wrap Up. It's got a good song, but the episode is kind of weird when you really try to break it down. Like they're trying to like remove, like do the whole winter change and everything like that, but they just don't like inform Twilight very much on like how she can help and stuff like that. They don't give her a chance, I guess. I might make you change it to AJ fan art. No. Look Before You Sleep is extremely stupid. I don't know if I'd say extremely stupid, but I'm really not a big fan of it. They probably should have done another like sleepover episode or something like that, but had like a different premise or something happen, you know? My favorite episode is Party for One. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write Party for One down. Party for One. Not just because Pinkie Pie is my favorite, but also because it showed us a different side of her. Interesting. Yeah, I think I know. I don't remember what episode you're talking about now. My least favorite episode. My least favorite is Rarity, which you can tell when you find out Rarity's fate in my Infection AU. I preferred the Changeling episodes. The Changeling episodes are good. Do it. It would be really funny. Fight me. The Changeling episodes are good. Again, Fall Weather Friends. I don't care for that episode because it stars my 2 least favorite characters. all the episodes that include Pinkie's families. These next handful of episodes, Stairmasters is good because you get to see like Fluttershy's abilities, so to speak. Like she can like stare you down and do something. You also get to see the Cutemark Crusaders, and they have their whole thing going on. It's actually a pretty decent episode. It's probably the best episode of season 1, based purely off of memory. A Dog Pony Show. Somebody said in my comments that this episode, sorry if Skella covers it up, but A Dog and Pony Show, somebody in my comments said that episode used to terrify them as a kid. I'm probably just extremely biased because I'm a season 1 hater. There's not a whole lot of super great episodes in season 1, to be honest. Green Isn't Your Color. I kind of like it as a premise. It's kind of nice. The Cutemark Chronicles is kind of nice too. I actually do like this one because you get like lore for all the characters and stuff like that. However, again, I don't really think it's a super decent episode. It's definitely not one of my favorites. The last handful are not super great either. We don't get a 2-parter for the finale in the first season, which is a little bit of a bummer. and it kind of makes sense. The best night ever, the Grand Galloping Gala thing and everything like that, just not super great. I'm not a big fan of it. I also really don't like Owl's Well that ends well or whatever. It's good, but I think Spike's beef with this owl is just too overplayed, if that makes sense. And then there's the Party for One that you mentioned a minute ago. The thumbnail for Party of One, I'm giggling. I remember Party for One now. Anyway, that was all of the episodes in season 1. My favorite episode is definitely not in here, but I think my favorite in here is probably Stairmaster, possibly, because I love the Cutie Mark Crusaders and I love Fluttershy and their little adventure there and everything. I think it's kind of nice. My favorite is A Royal Problem because it puts Starlight Cutie Mark manipulation talent on display front and center. That is a great episode. Starlight is a great character. Random, but I love the villains, but not Cozy Glow. Cozy Glow is kind of the weakest villain in, goodness gracious, probably the worst villain in the series because we don't get any information about it. It's just a random child that's just evil for basically no reason. We don't learn anything about them or anything. Now we get into some good episodes here, chat. We got some good episodes here. Season 2, episode 1 and episode 2 is good. We got Discord. I think Discord is just cool. I just love Discord, I guess. I guess that's biased in there. Apparently Return to Harmony Part 2 is 9 out of 10 on IMDb. That's crazy. It definitely is a good episode though. I like these episodes. I'm still not sure if those are my favorite episodes because they introduced one of my favorite characters, but it's hard to say. I knew she was fake from the start. It's so obvious. Yeah, it is a little bit obvious. I remember seeing it for the first time. Like, they introduce the character and everything like that, and she, like, lies about the test or something like that, and, like, she fails on purpose so that the Cutie Mark Crusaders get in trouble or something like that. And then, I just thought the character was really weird. It was very clear that the character was important to some extent because it was a very unique-looking character. And, I don't know, they just kind of... The character just disappeared for a while, and I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't anything. And then they started appearing again and again and again, and I was like, okay, yeah, the character is definitely like evil or some shit, right? But it was hard to say evil because, like, you know, I thought like one of the twists they were possibly going to do is like it was going to be Queen Chrysalis in disguise or something like that, and then that could have served possibly as a redemption for her for the finale or something. But then they had like Queen Chrysalis appear and they teamed up and everything, so I was like, oh well, I guess that isn't the case. Lesson 0. I heard somebody say that this episode is terrible, but I actually kind of like this episode. Oh wait, no, this isn't the episode I was thinking of. This is a different episode. I don't care for this episode. I don't actually care for this episode. I'm not a big fan of this episode. I thought this was a different one. I actually don't like Lesson 0 that much. Luna Eclipsed is good too, but I actually am not that great of a fan of that episode. She didn't fail on purpose to get them in trouble. She intentionally failed for the opposite reason. Well, that's true. She failed for the opposite reason. However, knowing that she's evil, she probably did do it on purpose. I accidentally spoiled Cozy for myself because I was scrolling the wiki and she was in the villain section. So the moment I saw her in the show, I already knew she was a villain. Sad. Damn. Alien Cat, hello! We're trying to find the best episode of My Little Pony. Drop your feedback, your suggestions of the best episode of My Little Pony. Sisterhood Social, that one's good too. I think season 2 definitely like starts to get better. Like the show gets better at season 2. I think season 1 really just is not super great. Secret of My Excess, I actually liked this episode when I first saw it. I think after later on in the series and seeing more episodes and stuff like that, I think it just really doesn't hold up as good as some of the other episodes. It's really bizarre. I love the premise that like he can get like greedy, like he just gets greedier and he gets bigger and bigger based on his greed and stuff like that. I thought that was an interesting premise and kind of implies something for the other dragons in the series that are bigger than him. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it was an interesting premise and stuff like that, but it's hard. I don't know. I don't think it's as good as what could be. The Cutie Pox was also good. I kind of skipped that one, but that one was also good. Heartswarming Eve, I don't care for. I'm gonna say it right now. I don't think I actually like any of the Christmas specials. I don't think there's any that I'm a super big fan of. There's the one that's like the Scrooge like parody or whatever. That one's good, I guess, but all the other ones are kind of like whatever. Kira, hello, welcome to the stream. Family Appreciation Day, I don't actually care for that. Baby Cakes, don't care for that. The last roundup, I definitely don't like that one. The Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 is kind of interesting. I liked meeting Flim and Flam for the first time. That was one of Spike's best episodes. The other episodes about him are just meh. Are they? I have to see them. I'm gonna get to them eventually. I think Spike has better episodes than that. Maybe. Read It and Weep is really stupid. This is just terrible. They never do anything with that greed growth thing past that episode. You're right. They don't. They don't really ever touch up on that ever again. It could be though that like, what happened to my whisper setting? Why was I whispered by a stranger? It happens sometimes, man. It happens. I think it could be that like Spike, like they learned not to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he did it by getting greedy, and then there's not another episode ever where he like just keeps wanting things and keeps getting more and more and more things. I don't think they do anyway. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think so. And that's so it could still be lore accurate, but I don't think he actually does anything. Power Ponies is a great Spike episode. I don't remember that one. Oh, I remember that one actually. Hearts and Hooves, I don't care for it. I really don't like any of the Valentine's Day specials because all of them are about Big Mac for some reason, and I think that's terrible. I don't like Big Mac as a character. I don't think I like any of the Apple family. I'm really not a big fan of any of them. A Friend Indeed is really stupid too. I don't know why they used this thumbnail. That's kind of an interesting thumbnail for that. I don't really like that episode. It's just super annoying. It's very annoying. Bleppity Cadium says it's 12:50 a.m., but I'm just sitting here watching Green Pony gather money. Am I gathering money? I really hope I'm getting money. The real reason he hates apples. The real reason I hate apples is because of the Apple family. It's About Time is interesting. I liked the time loop aspect of it. I'm not a big fan of it otherwise, though. Putting Your Hoof Down, this could be controversial too, but I actually do like this episode. Fluttershy like learning to be more assertive and stuff like that is interesting, and there's something weird about her character that has always been consistent. I don't know if it was on purpose or if this is just how the character is supposed to be or something like that, but Fluttershy kind of gets like, I want to say obsessive or easily changed, I guess. Like she's very easy to persuade into a certain like personality. It's almost like she has split personality, if that makes sense, because you see it in Putting Your Hoof Down here, where she takes those lessons and then she takes it too far. She gets obsessed with the ability to be able to push people around, and it kind of changes her personality. But you see it in later episodes too, where something happens. You even see it at the finale of the Grand Galloping Gala one, where she gets super obsessed with trying to interact with these animals at the thing, and it just doesn't work, and she gets more and more angry about it. It's almost like she has split personality, and I wonder if that could possibly be part of why Discord wasn't able to change her personality. You know what I'm saying? He did technically do it, but he had to like force it differently than the other ones. So it could be that like her split personality maybe helps her resist Discord's manipulations in that episode, or it could just be that she just has a way with animals and creatures, and so that's why it doesn't work or something. But I think there's something about Fluttershy with that. And Putting Your Hoof Down kind of shows us that for the first time, and they're consistent with that theme of like you do something to Fluttershy and she just kind of changes for better or for worse, usually for worse. But that's something I've noticed about the character, and I think that's a good episode for that reason. It's About Time, like I said, the time loop is cool, but otherwise whatever. Dragon Quest is a good one. That one is a good one. I think that's the one where he like they do like the yeah, that's a good one. Why has it got such low ratings? That's a really good episode. You get to go to the Dragonlands. You get to learn about the dragons and like how they choose like their new like king or whatever. He does like the dragon games and stuff like that. That's a good one. I think that's a good episode. There's an entire episode where she just divides into 3 personalities. Yeah, she does. Yeah, at the Rarity Shop one, exactly. But Apple Bloom is probably the best out of the Apple family, but she's my least favorite out of the Cutie Mark Crusaders. So I don't know. And I only like her because she's a Cutie Mark Crusader, I think. Yeah, Dragon Quest was a good episode. If that's the one you can rate the episodes, I'm on IMBD or IMDb. IMDb, you can rate them. You can come on here, you can rate them, you can do whatever, you can even favorite them. You can see the watch options, you can see the synopsis and stuff like that. And it shows like the top rated and the worst rated. I did a video recently. By the way, what is that pony is coming tomorrow? Right here. Is this really the worst episode of My Little Pony? I went on IMDb and found the worst episode according to IMDb, and I reviewed it for a video and everything like that. So I'm trying to find my favorite episode because I asked you guys on a community post to find if I should do my favorite or this episode or this episode. You guys chose my favorite, so we're gonna try to find my favorite and we're gonna review that for an episode. But yeah, I used IMDb to find all this stuff. Hurricane Fluttershy, I'm not a huge fan of this one. It may be because of Rainbow Dash being such a big shine in the episode or something. I don't know. Ponyville Confidential, not a big fan of that one. The Mystery on the Friendship Express could have been way better. But if we're being honest with ourselves here, chat, I think the Canterlot Wedding Part 1 and Part 2, even though it's got its problems, I think those are probably the best episodes of Season 2. It could be... Oh, man. Honestly, it's either the premiere of Season 2 or the finale of Season 2 that are the best episodes in this season. So definitely make a note of that. However, I'm trying to think. You can tell too, like the ratings on here, like that's at like a what did that say? That's a 9.2 on the Part 2, and then at the season premiere, it's 9 on that. So it's a good season. I think Season 2 is pretty good though. It's got a lot of good episodes in it, or a lot of episodes that I'm okay with, like The Secret of My Excess and goodness gracious, maybe not as many as I thought, but still a handful there. Let's get into Season 3 now. I'm not a big fan of the wedding episodes. I liked them. I don't know. The Crystal Empire Part 1 and Part 2, those are good episodes. I liked it. I thought it was nice. Sombra is a cool character. They should have done more with Sombra. They did a lot more with him in the comics, and I made a video about him via the comics and stuff. It was good. This song carries the finale for Season 1. Ooh, excuse me. This song carries the finale for Season 2? Yeah, probably. Maybe. It's a good song. They do a good song in the Canterlot Wedding. I'm not a big fan of the first half of the Canterlot Wedding, necessarily as I am as the second half. The depiction of war in that is really good. Seasons 2 to 4 were the best seasons in my opinion. I'm honestly not sure. I mean, I'm looking through all the episodes right now, so we'll see. AGR Avatar found and cropped to a square, ready for deploying. All right. These are good. The Crystal. Every time they go to the Crystal Empire and do anything in the Crystal Empire, I think it's a good episode. They did a good job with the Crystal Empire stuff. Too Many Pinkie Pies is okay. I'm not a huge fan of it. It just kind of comes off as annoying because Pinkie Pie is just, well, kind of annoying sometimes. He did return in Season 9 for some reason. Very good opening to a season. He did return later, but what they did in the comics was a billion times better than what they did in the actual show when he returned. Because he returned in the comics, but in a different way, and it was so much better. Summer was really well done in these 2 episodes here, and then in the comic. And then in like Season 9 or whatever season it was, they did him dirty. I don't know why they did that. Magic Duel is okay. I'm not too big of a fan of this one, especially since they don't actually do anything with the magic amplifying amulet ever again after this, as far as I'm aware. I feel like they could have maybe brought that back, or maybe considered doing something with it in the future. Maybe like a different character gets a hold of it or something like that. Maybe like an Earth Pony or a Pegasus gets a hold of it and it does something different. Maybe it allows them to use magic even though they don't have a horn or something. They could have done a lot of interesting things with the amulet is what I'm saying. I believe you. I just not in fact read the comics. I made a video about it. Sombra. Let me load that up. That time King Sombra was redeemed. I made a video about the comics. He had an entire arc in the comics that like basically redeemed him, and it was really good. If you don't want to read the comics and you just want to like know about it, just watch this video right here. It was posted 4 years ago. It's good. what they did with him is so much better than what they ever did with him in the show. Sleepless in Sun Ponyville, don't really care about this one. Wonderbolts Academy, again, I don't care about Rainbow Dash. They shouldn't. I feel like they gave her 2 episodes in a row there. Never do that. Spike at Your Service. This is, I think, a notoriously hated episode, and I am not a big fan of it either. I think they could have maybe made this episode better. Melody Hall, hello, welcome to the stream. They definitely could have made Spike at Your Service way better, 100%. Keep Calm and Flutter On is a great episode. I might actually write that one down. Flutter On. This is one of my favorite episodes for sure. Keep Calm and Flutter On, because you actually get to see Discord get redeemed, so we get more Discord. Again, one of my favorite characters. Fluttershy, another great character. Some cool stuff in there. Do you know about the Infection AUs? I know about the Infection AUs. I don't really care too much about that stuff. I feel like Trixie didn't deserve all what happened to her. She's a magician. It's her job to show off her magic. Yeah, but she kind of showed off a little too much, and she made a lot of lies about being able to stop like an Ursa Major or whatever it was. They should have done more with Trixie, though, in my opinion. I had a lot of ideas of my own of stuff they could have done with Trixie to make her a better character in the show, or do stuff with her, because we don't know that much about Trixie, which is really weird, because we all we know is that she's a magician. She went here, and then that was it. Do I like MLP edits? It depends. There's some good ones I've seen before. I don't really necessarily go out of my way to watch them, so I guess I'm not a huge fan of them, but they're okay. But Keep Calm and Flutter On is a good episode. Probably the best episode of this season. Honestly, I think season 3, looking at it now, is kind of a weak season. It's like every other season seems to be good, because I don't like One Bad Apple is actually not bad. I kind of like Kingdom Hearts Crusader episodes is just good. I don't know. It's very low rated on here, so that may be a controversial take or a hot take or whatever you want to say. But I kind of like it. I like seeing this character come in, and they're like a bully and everything like that, and then you learn about like what's going on and everything, and it's a little bit wholesome in a way. And Magic Duel is okay, but again, not Trixie's best episode. So there's a couple of good episodes in here, but like Wonderbolts Academy, Sleepless in Ponyville, Family Reunion, it's just for Sidekicks, or Spike at Your Service, or Games Pony Plays. Actually, what even is this one? Their friends are assigned to persuade the Equestria Games to... Yeah, again, that episode, not a super great one. This episode, Magical Mystery Cure is so freaking stupid. I absolutely hate this episode. It's so dumb. It feels like such a waste of time, if that makes sense. I feel like they don't actually do anything in this episode, and how they went about doing this is just really dumb. I do not like this episode at all. Kiro, hello, welcome to the stream. Again, sorry if Skell is covering up the images here, but I can't move these over. If I could move these over to the right, I would definitely do that. Kingdom Hearts Crusader episodes are great. I agree. I'm totally unbiased in every way, I assure you. They're great. They're great. Let's see season 4. Season 4 I know is pretty good. I remember it being good. A lot of people don't like the Princess Twilight Sparkles stuff here. Her getting the wings at the end of season 3 as well is pretty stupid, in my opinion. That's another thing too. Like the way they went about giving her wings was not convincing to me, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see the main 6 not all perfect like you expect them to be. I agree. I 100% agree. Magical Mystery Cure just seemed contrived to me. Magical Mystery Cure, her getting her wings there is... It's just not good. I really just don't think the way they did it was right. I really... It felt undeserved. I mean, we had seen her grow for the past, those full 3 seasons. But her getting the wings there... them being like, oh, you completed a Star Swirl spell, so you get wings. Like, that just felt like an excuse to give her wings. They should have definitely done something different. I think they could have had it, and this may have been a better way to do it. I think they plan to end the show on it. Yeah, probably. I really don't know. I feel like that's just a rumor, but I have no way of proving if it's a rumor or not. I really do feel like that's just a rumor, though, because you immediately get, like, season 4, her adjusting to her wings and stuff like that. Like it kind of felt like they were planning to do stuff with season 4, at least 4 seasons. But it would make sense because they probably got picked up for 3 seasons, and so they were like, oh shit, this is the 3rd season, this is our last season. And then so they did that finale, and because of how that finale went, they got picked up for a couple more seasons or something. That's probably what happened, but it's hard to say for sure. Now, again, her getting her wings, I think they could have done it, and they could have done it in a way that wouldn't have made people upset and everything like that, because they could have done it as almost like a natural evolution rather than her just being like, you completed the thing, so I'm gonna give you wings. Like, I feel like Celestia shouldn't have given her wings. I think she should have like physically gotten them herself, if that makes sense. Like an actual evolution, because in that episode, I think, yeah, Celestia basically gives it to her. She like shoots her with like a magic beam or something, and she has wings now. At least at the very least, they imply that Celestia gave her the wings. You know what I'm saying? They could have had it be a more natural thing where she did something, that was like truly remarkable. Maybe she discovered something magic. I don't know. They could have done something, is what I'm saying. Don't ask me to rewrite everything, because I probably will. But they definitely could have done something that would have made it feel more deserved. The Princess Twilight two-parter here, I don't think is too bad. If I'm not mistaken, let's see, what does this say? The Everfree Forest starts to take over. Yeah, Discord is in one of these 2 episodes. I think he's in part 2, not part 1. I liked this one. I liked the premise of it, how they went about it, and everything like that. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's the best episodes, but it's good. Them discovering the castle the first time was really cool too, but I don't think it's one of my favorite episodes for sure. It's definitely not in there. And Daring I don't care a role in the show. She doesn't do anything. In the comics, they address that actually, where like how she never actually helps Twilight or like the world-ending threats and shit like that. In the comics, I don't know which comic it is, but Spike and Celestia get a moment alone. I think they're on a cliff or something in the scene. And Spike just straight up asks, like, how come you don't ever really help out with like these issues and stuff like that? And Celestia says straight up that like she 100% could have solved almost all of their issues very quickly, but then it wouldn't have allowed Twilight to grow and learn and stuff like that. And so she was giving Twilight room to grow and learn, and that's why, at least that's their explanation in the comics as to why Celestia doesn't do anything or help solve these issues, basically. And yeah, Scooty, I think you're right. She does technically do things, just not exactly what you would expect, because she keeps peace in the kingdom. She does a lot. There's an episode where like they have to take over her royal duties for a day or something like that. So you see what she does. It's just when there's a world-ending threat, you would think Celestia maybe would do more than just kind of, I don't know, sit at the castle, I guess. I don't know what she's doing. But you also have to consider this too. A lot of the times, this may not be true. I don't think this actually is true now that I'm about to say it out loud. But I don't think kings in ancient times would pick up a sword and join the fight when there was a big war. I assumed that kings would just kind of stay at the castle, and everyone else would protect the king in times of war. So it would make sense that Celestia, as like a queen, basically, they call her a princess. She's basically a queen. I don't know why they don't use queens. I don't know why they don't use that word in this show. I always thought that was weird. But it would make sense that she doesn't necessarily go out too far or do too much, because she's the ruler of the entire country or kingdom or whatever. So if she goes out into battle and dies, there's literally no replacement. That's it. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Your society would collapse, surely. Something insane would happen. So she kind of can't necessarily go out all the time. However, it doesn't explain why she dies like instantly, basically, every time there's like a world-ending threat and they come to the castle. She gets defeated so easily. I always thought that was stupid, but I think there's reason for Celestia not necessarily like going out doing things. Daring don't like it. Flight to the Finish, I'm not a big fan of that one either. Actually, wait. That's the Scootaloo one where he wants to participate in Equestria games, but after encouraging words. Oh yeah, that one's not too bad. It's a Scootaloo episode. It's not too bad. It's definitely not one of my favorites, but it's not too bad, I guess. In one of the alternate futures from the season 5 finale, she is shown to be actively in the front lines of a war. That's true, actually. Holy shit, you're right. Because Disney said media for little girls needs princess preferably as a main character. My Little Pony isn't Disney, though. That'd be Hasbro that would have to say that. Well, I guess Disney does say that because Disney they got all their princesses and stuff instead of queens and shit. So I guess I see what you're saying. Bats is a good episode. Bats is actually a really good episode. I'm really upset they never did anything with the bat thing again. I don't think they did. They did in the comics, but in the show, I don't. As far as I know, as far as I remember, they never did anything with the bat thing ever again. But it was a good episode. Yeah, Disney established it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Rarity Takes Manhattan. Not a super great fan of that episode. Something about that episode just kind of makes me mad. I guess it's because the plagiarizing that goes on in that episode. Something about that, I guess, just makes me so mad. So it's hard for me to rewatch that episode because it always just makes me so mad. Even though everything works out in the end, it just grinds my gears. Pinky Apple Pie. I don't give a fuck about this episode. It's Applejack. I don't care about it. Rainbow. Wow, holy shit! There's so many Rainbow Dash episodes in season 4. Yeah, she gets one here. She kind of gets one here. I guess it's technically not a Rainbow Dash episode, but it's Rainbow Dash adjacent. And then she gets another one right here. And then, goodness gracious. Oh, this season is much longer than I thought. Maybe she just gets a lot of them next to each other. It just feels like she had too many episodes already in this season. Season 4 is not a great season. No, it's got us a couple of iconic episodes. Season 4 does, because the two-parter is iconic. I think Rarity just consistently irritates me. I feel you on that one. I'm not gonna lie. Rarity. I used to really like Rarity, but there's some stuff about the character that just really irritates me. Apple Pie was boring. You know what? You're right. This episode was boring, as far as I remember. I think you're right. Yeah, because nothing too crazy happens. I guess. I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know. And then they never really resolved that issue of like, is she a pie? Is she not? You know, it just. I don't know. They should have done something with that, I think. They should have had a later episode that addressed it, and maybe they find out that they're actually not related, because it's kind of weird, again, with Big Mac falling in love with Marble, a possible cousin. Very weird. Again, they do weird shit with Big Mac. For some reason, if there's romance, it has to be him, and because of that, weird shit like him falling in love with his cousin happens. It's really stupid. Anyway. They could have done something where they revealed that the pies actually weren't related, and it was the Thai family or something like that. I wrote an episode about it, and I made a video about the episode idea for them finding out that they're actually not related, and everything like that. But anyway, Rainbow Falls. I don't like this episode. I don't like Rainbow Falls. Yeah, I don't like that one. Three's a Crowd is a good episode. I like Discord. If he's in the episode, it's probably good. Let's be real. Pinkie Pride is a good one too, I think. Cheese Sandwich was just a better version of Pinkie Pie, in my opinion. It may be because it's Weird Al that or something like that. But I think I always just liked him more than I liked Pinkie Pie. I'm not really a big fan of either of them, though, too much. Like, they're both kind of annoying in their own ways. Simple Ways is really dumb, too. An Applejack episode, not really a big fan of it. Philly Vanilli, the song is good, but I don't know if I really care about the episode. But this is another example of Fluttershy kind of adopting a personality, so to speak, because she does that to change her voice so that she can fill in for, like, Big Mac, I think it was, or something like that. And then she just kind of gets obsessed with it, and she just keeps doing it even when she doesn't want to. She loves it and everything like that, which is fine, but it almost feels like it's on the cusp of adding into that stuff. That brown pony, I hate him. Oh, that guy right there. What is his name? Does it say on here? He's a fashionista. Yeah, he's a fashionista. I don't even remember his name. I can't believe this is still a plot point. Worst case scenario, this generation is 5 times removed. Worst case scenario, Pinkie Pie and Applejack are 5th cousins, and so are Big Mac and Marble. I get, it's just a little bit weird. Okay, I think it's just weird That is not weird. People don't know their fifth cousins. I barely know my second. That's not incest. That I mean, if you want to say that, I guess you could make that argument. I still just think it's weird that they say they could possibly be related, and then him knowing that he's possibly related to this person, it's just kind of weird. Like, if you knew you were related, if you met your fifth cousins and you knew you were related to them, would you like go for that relationship? Would you like try that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you would. I think most people would be like, I think most people would be too weirded out about it. It'd be different if you didn't know it was your fifth cousin and you met and you formed a bond in a relationship and then you find out you're a fifth cousins. You would be freaked out and stuff like that, but at the same time you would probably be more like, okay, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? His name is Trenderhoof. Is it really? That's so fucking funny. The song goes on for the entire episode. It gets tiring. Yeah, that's another problem with this episode too. The song is fine, but it goes on for almost the entire episode. It's just I just don't really like it. It ain't easy being breezies. I like the breezies, but I'm not so sure if I like this episode. Some pony to watch over me. Apple Bloom tries to prove to Applejack that she doesn't need her to constantly watch over her. I don't actually remember what happens in this episode, so I'm just going to say I don't like it. If I can't remember the episode, it's probably not a good episode. Mod Pie. I actually liked it, meeting Mod Pie. I think that was an okay episode. Definitely a weird character, and I think they used Mod Pie sparingly enough that it didn't get too annoying, because they didn't use that character too many times. They were only in a handful of episodes. For Whom the Sweetie Belle Toils. I think that's an okay episode too. Again, it's not super great, but it's something. Leap of Faith. I don't care about this episode either. Again, it's Applejack. The Flim and Flam brothers are there. It's nice, but it's just not a great episode. Applejack learning not to lie again, I think is dumb or whatever. That episode is an infuriating episode about AJ being overprotected with Apple Bloom. Yeah. According to this, that's what it is. It doesn't have good ratings either, according to this. So I'm surprised the Breezy episode doesn't have like 7 stars or something like that. You would think it would have more than 6.5, considering how iconic the Breezes are. You know what I'm saying? But I guess people just didn't like that episode that much. Yeah, I forgot though that like there's parts of the season where like they get the keys to the thing. Which episodes are there? I need to find out. There's the Power Ponies episode. I may have skipped that one by accident. Hang on. 3 is a crowd. No, they don't get one in that one. Pinkie Pride, they do get one of the keys in that episode, and then they get another one in. Wow, I totally forgot about Twilight Time. I completely forgot about that one. Goodness gracious, what are the other ones? I know Leap of Faith is one. They get one in that one. Maybe it's just further down, and I don't remember. Goodness gracious, Rainbow Dash faces an intellectual Wonderbolt's reserves entrance test, but her friends are helping it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that either. Traja, the girls test how valuable their friendship is after a trip to the Rainbow Falls Traders Exchange goes awry. That's the episode where Rainbow Dash sells Fluttershy, isn't it? Isn't that episode? That episode's terrible, just for that one reason. It feels like it focuses too much on Rainbow Dash, and I'm not a big fan of Rainbow Dash. Inspiration Manifestation. I actually like Inspiration Manifestation. Every time Rarity gets like a little bit evil or a little bit darker, I think it's great. I think Rarity ironically works better as like a villain or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I like the episode. Spike is maybe a little bit too stupid in this episode, but it is something. Goodness gracious, where are the other keys though? What were the other key episodes? Was Rainbow Falls one of them? I think Rainbow Falls was one of the episodes where they got one of the keys, because that was where Rainbow Dash got her key, and then goodness gracious, I don't know. Rainbow Dash got hers in like Rainbow Falls. Let's say that. And then Pinkie Pie got her key in that one. Where did Rarity get her key at? Maybe Fluttershy got hers in this episode? I really don't remember. Applejack got hers in this one. Maybe Rarity got it in Mod Pie episode? I have no clue. I have no idea. I have no idea which episodes they got the keys at. But Equestria Games was okay. It wasn't too bad. I always liked how like Spike was like famous in the Crystal Empire. I always thought that was kind of cool. And then Twilight's Kingdom Part 1 and Part 2 are some of the best episodes in the series. It's no wonder they're top rated in the series. They are definitely some of the best episodes. I remember seeing like Twilight's Kingdom Part 2 and like seeing like all of the alicorn in the magic all of the alicorn magic in the world combined into one pony versus all of the other magic in the world plus all of the chaos magic in the world combined into one, and seeing that them clash like that, I thought that was an interesting one. The key was a rainbow thread for Rarity. It was a gift from the Cyan pony. I don't remember her name. Oh shit! So it was in the plagiarized episode. You're right. That is where she got hers. And then Rarity takes Manhattan. Yeah, and then yeah, poor Fluttershy is right. Coco Pommel, that's it. That's the name. You're right, 100%. Yeah, these two episodes are some of the best episodes in the series. You get all the action. You get Discord. You get you get all the characters at their best, I guess, is what you could say. And the characters I don't like don't shine too much, if that makes sense. Remember, everyone, it's Miss Pommel. We don't want to cease and desist. yeah, it's a Miss Pommel. All right, season 5. Definitely the best episode is the part 1, part 2 Twilight's Kingdom in this one. 100%. I don't think it's up for debate in this one. Goodness gracious. Another great one is probably the 2-parter at the beginning as well. But other than that, there's a handful of episodes in here that are good, that stand out, like Three's a Crowd. But definitely the best episode in season 4 is these two right here, 100%. I don't think you could convince me otherwise. They're some of the best episodes in the entire series. But let's see. We gotta find our favorites here, guys. I'm gonna write down Twilight Kingdom here. P1, P2. That way I can come back to them later, maybe, and we'll cross these off when we get to them. All right, the Cutie Map and the Cutie Map Part 2 are also some of the best episodes. Well, I say that, but shit. I'm trying to think. Starlight Glimmer's there, but I don't know if Starlight Glimmer necessarily shines enough in these 2-parters. I think the Part 2 is definitely better than Part 1, just because we get to see more of Starlight and we get to learn more about Starlight and stuff like that. But the first half, I think the first half of the first episode is not super great. I remember something about these 2 episodes, like they're really good. These 2 episodes are really good because you know, Starlight and the Equal Village or whatever, they're really great. But man, I don't know. It's just, I feel like there's something else there, you know. And I remember something else about this episode that makes it not my favorite. But it's really good. It's iconic episodes. Castle Sweet Castle. I actually like this episode too. It's very wholesome. There's some issues I have with it because they just kind of argue too much in this episode. I feel like they argue and do stupid shit, like putting animals inside the castle and a bunch of dumb stuff. Rainbow Dash, being Rainbow Dash, thinks that they're the best person in the entire universe, and Twilight would love to have a bunch of pictures of her all over the wall and her trophies everywhere. I don't know why. Again, just another Rainbow Dash. They're very narcissistic, I guess. And Applejack just like being way super stupid and thinking that Twilight would love random bales of hay and animals and shit inside of her castle. And then Rarity also, at least Rarity actually had the most logical stuff to put in the castle to make her feel more at home. She was actually putting up like actual decorations. And then Pinkie Pie being stupid and just putting up party decorations. It's not a party, Pinkie Pie. This is a home. I don't even think your room looked like that. All the characters just being really stupid, not considering Twilight at all. And then eventually they do consider Twilight and they come up with some ideas and stuff like that, and it works out for them. But the majority of the episode is really annoying because the characters are just too stupid and they act like they don't actually care about Twilight. It's really weird. Bloom and Gloom. Oh, yeah, she had the nightmares. That one's okay. I'm not, again, it's okay. It's just not a super great one. It's okay. I feel like they all went insane in this episode. They kind of did. They kind of did go all insane in the Sweet Castle one. Agreed. That's a stupid episode. I like how wholesome it is at like the last few minutes of the episode. Like the later half of the episode is better than the first half, but just because of how wholesome it is, it really makes you feel special because they put the tree roots in the room and all that other stuff. They do some cool stuff with it, but it just I can't. I just don't like it. Thanks for the memories. I don't care for it. Appaloosa's Most Wanted. Which one is that one? I'm not a big fan of that one either. The Trouble Shoes thing was kind of funny and it was interesting. Somebody pointed it out to me in the comments, though, that this episode is kind of dark when you think about it because Trouble Shoes' entire, like, his cutie mark is basically him being accident prone. Question, do you know the elements of insanity? I remember how I used to watch it when I was little, even though it scared me. I'm not sure if I remember what that is, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if I know what that is. I may have seen it and just don't remember. But Trouble Shoes, his whole thing is like he's accident prone and he messes things up. That's what his cutie mark means. That's what it is. And the cutie mark Crusaders basically revealed that, like, hey, look, you're meant to be a rodeo clown. That's what you're actually meant to be. That's what your cutie mark actually means. But he can't be a rodeo clown 24/7. So that means for maybe a few hours out of random times in the year, because there's not just like a rodeo going on 24/7 as far as I know, he's just out there living a miserable life 90% of the time. And then for that 10% of the time, he's like living kind of nice because he's doing the rodeo stuff and it's fun and everything. But 90% of the time, he's kind of got a miserable life going on. I do like how they like imply that he's a murderer and stuff like that. I kind of like some of the stuff there, but and it's a Cutie Mark Crusader episode, and the closest we get to them actually figuring out what they're meant to do, but it's just they just don't quite meet it. And then the episode just itself is just it just doesn't work for me. And it makes sense. It's 6.6 ratings on here. So I guess a handful of other people really agree here. Make new friends but keep Discord. I like this one just because of Discord, but I feel like it's one of his weaker episodes. Like, this is a weaker Discord episode. I really love the part where, like, goodness gracious, I don't remember her name. It was like Tree Hugger or something stupid like that. She like points at Discord opens up a portal and he's about to shove her through it and everything like that, and she's like, what the heck is that? And it's like just a sock puppet or some shit. That was hilarious. I love shit like that because it's Discord. I like Discord. Discord does cool stuff. I like seeing Discord do stuff. However, I feel like Fluttershy doesn't give Discord a chance in this episode, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like it really does feel like like Discord has every right to believe that Tree Hugger is taking up all of Fluttershy's time, because for a good chunk of time, Fluttershy is only hanging out with Tree Hugger for some reason. And this character was never here before, and suddenly this Tree Hugger character shows up, and now she's just obsessed with them. They're hanging out all of the time. It's weird. It's weird. Like, they just start hanging out all the time. And they're even, like, if I remember right, Fluttershy even, like, skips out on some plans that she has with Discord in favor of Tree Hugger, which is fine. You can have more than one friend, but it really did kind of look a little bit like Fluttershy was replacing him, or like replacing all of her friends even, because she didn't hang out with any of the main six either. So, like, she was just constantly hanging out with them. It was weird. And then she invites her to the Grand Galloping Gala and stuff. It's just weird. It really does feel like Fluttershy was maybe a little bit too obsessed with Tree Hugger, but again, that goes back to Fluttershy's personality of, like, getting kind of obsessed with stuff, so to speak. So it's a weird thing. Definitely not Discord's best episode, but it's not too bad, I guess. I feel like Fluttershy just expected Discord to have more friends. That's true too. Like Fluttershy knows what Discord is like. She even knows that the rest of the main six really aren't a big fan of Discord, even at this point in time. And she knows that he never had a friend before her, basically. She was her first friend, and I guess maybe she just had too much faith in him that he would have met more people or something like that. But she should have known especially from how much they hang out, that he didn't really have anybody else. Very, very interesting. That's an interesting point. That's a good point. That's a really good point. The Lost Treasure of Griffinstone is okay. I like seeing Griffinstone and stuff like that, but it's a Rainbow Dash episode. Pinkie Pie's there, but she's basically not in the episode. So whatever. Slice of Life is iconic, and this might be controversial, but I don't think I actually even care about this episode that much. They do some interesting stuff in there. There's some stuff that they could have made full-blown episodes on and stuff like that, but they just go for each background character for like a couple of minutes, you know, which is fine. It's a good little episode, but I really feel like I would have liked if they explored certain things a little bit more, if that makes sense. And it being like technically a donkey episode, Donkey Doodle or something like that, I don't know. But oh goodness, this is where we learn about Bon Bon being like a secret agent and stuff like that, and that's pretty nice. And we also get like more Lyra Bon Bon stuff, and that's always nice. They did a lot of nice things in this episode, but I feel like they did. It's kind of like an SNL sketch or like an SNL episode. Some of the sketches are terrible, or some of the sketches are unfunny, and then there's a couple in there or a few ones that are actually really good and give you a laugh or something. That's kind of what this episode is. I think that's the best one to I think that's the best way to compare this episode. The best way to explain how I feel about this episode. It's like watching an SNL. It's like watching SNL. It's some of it you hate, some of it you like, some of it you just are indifferent about. I don't care for it either. It's just fan service, the episode. It was the 100th episode, if I'm not mistaken. And for the 100th episode, they decided to take a look at the other characters instead of the main 6. And I think you're right. I think it is a little bit fan servicey, but really maybe not too much. Because I don't know if they necessarily... I really don't know what the fandom was like back then. So I can't really say how much like the fans possibly influenced that episode. You know what I'm saying? But it is a lot of background characters and stuff like that. It's okay. It's just not a super great one. Princess Spike is okay. Definitely not his best episode either. But it is above the Deed one where he like owed Applejack. We already passed that one, but I already forgot the name of it. He helped Applejack saved him or something, and he owed her a debt or something. It's better than that episode, but still not his best episode, if that makes sense. They just don't do a super great job with it. I like the lesson in it though, so you know, it's whatever. It makes sense that it's at 5.6, but I really would expect it to be more at a 6 or something. I wasn't into the fandom at the time either. Fair enough. Party pooped. Important Friendship Summit takes a dreadful turn. It is up to Pinkie Pie to save the day. What the fuck is this episode? A series of important friendship summits takes a dreadful turn. It is up to Pinkie Pie to save the day. What is this episode, chat? I don't know what this episode is. I'm party pooped on this one. What the fuck is this episode? Pinkie Pie has to save the day? When does that ever happen? Watching Little Shy's Everything Wrong With on that episode is very insightful on how much it pulls fanfics and stuff. Interesting. Yeah, okay. I didn't know that. I might look at that or something like that. I might look at that and see, because I don't know anything about I don't know anything about like the fanfics and stuff like that. I don't really look at that kind of stuff usually. I cannot remember Party Pooped at all. When a serious and important friendship summit takes a dreadful turn. Oh, is that the one where like the Yaks were there? And like no, because she hadn't met the Yaks yet, I don't think, at this point. I don't know what the fuck this episode is. I'm gonna have to look this up. Party Pooped MLP episode. I have to look this up. I have no idea what this episode is. Save the day when an important friendship summit takes a disaster, but it takes an epic voyage across Equestria to reignite her inspiration? What the fuck? Is this where she first meets the Yaks? This is where she first meets the Yaks. What the fuck? I don't remember that. I thought it's the Yak episode. What the fuck? I remember that being like more. What the fuck? I thought the Yak episode where they first meet the Yaks and stuff like that had Yak in the name or something. Why was it called Party Pooped? Anyway, Amending Fences. I actually like this one. I actually do like amending fences. Her like reminiscing about her Candlelight days and finding out that she actually left behind the only 3 friends she ever had, and then like one of the friends just doesn't forgive her and everything like that. I actually like this. I think it's a good episode idea. I think it's executed pretty well. It is definitely a good episode, and I understand why it's top rated for sure. The yaks are amazing. I agree. The yaks are pretty cool. I do like the yaks, but I'm not a huge fan of the yaks, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's okay. This episode is good. Amending fences is definitely a good one. I think I'm gonna write that one down too. Amending fences. Do Princesses Dream of Magic Sheep is also a great episode. I love this episode. It kind of deals with trauma a little bit, and like Luna is having nightmares this time. It's kind of a good twist on that. I'm gonna get some money tomorrow. I'll donate to you next stream. The next stream will likely be on Wednesday. However, because it's spring break, I may stream on like a Tuesday or something like that as well. Who knows? We'll see. Definitely, if neither of those days, it'll be a Saturday or a Sunday. I love Moon Dancer. It's hard to forgive someone not just because they said sorry, then it's okay. Yeah, I the thing about amending fences is, like, you're right, Moon Dancer, like, there's no reason she should have just immediately up and forgave them. You know what I'm saying? And I think it almost even it may be too fanficky or it's like reading too much into it, but it almost feels like Moon Dancer had a thing with Twilight, or like she liked Twilight, I guess you could say. Like she liked Twilight, you know, like she had a crush on her or something like that, and Twilight just never knew, because Moon Dancer was maybe a little too obsessed with Twilight and all that stuff like that. It just felt like Moon Dancer may have liked Twilight a little bit more than her other 2 friends. At the very least, we know she liked her more than the other 2 friends, because the other 2 friends were like, "Oh, hell yeah, man, let's go." Like, they did. I don't know. They were too forgiving, I think. Yeah, they were gay, exactly. I'll donate 100 buckaroons if you stream playing Roblox Pleasures. I can. Do you want me to do that right now? I can switch over to Roblox. I'll do it. I played it for a video. I played Doors and Pressure in the same video. Nah, I'm not with this ships. I don't ship them. I don't ship them. But I think they were almost implying a crush or something there, because I don't know. It just that's the vibe it gave me. I don't ship them. I don't really usually ship a lot of characters unless it's very obvious that these characters like each other. That's the only time I think I'd ever ship a character. Like Fluttershy and Discord. They very clearly like each other. 100% they like each other. Candlelight Boutique. Rarity's dream of owning a boutique Candlelight finally comes true, but it comes at a price Rarity might not be willing to pay. I'll donate next stream, then it's a deal. Alright. I'll do Roblox Pressure for the next one. Don't let me forget. I'll agree to these terms. Rarity Investigates. I actually like the Rarity Investigates one. It is weird. Wow, holy shit, we got 3 Rarity episodes in a row. I mean, this one's Rarity and Applejack, but we got 3 Rarity episodes in a row. That's kind of crazy. That's crazy. I ship Tempest and Twilight. I feel like they should have made Tempest a more permanent character on the show. Like, they didn't have to be in every episode, but they should have been in more episodes after the movie, especially since they kind of added a bunch of characters from, you know, the extended universe from the movie. They should have done characters. They should have done that with Tempest, especially since, like, she redeemed herself. That the premiere of the very next season after that movie could have been her, like, learning how to do more friendship and stuff like that. She should have been there when they opened the School of Friendship. She should have been one of the students. She should have showed up and basically been like, she should have defended Twilight for opening up her school, and then also said that she was going to be her first student and signed up in front of everyone or something like that. That should have been something, and she could have been one of the students as like a side character that appears every now and then. Not, of course, with the student characters, like the new main 6, if you want to call them that. Like, she shouldn't have been in those episodes with them, but she should have been, you know, in the school. You know what I'm saying? Chuckles in sitting in PT as a Twijack new gen right now, or next gen or whatever. The black and white theme was amazing. I don't know. I think I'm just a sucker for these, like, investigative mystery episodes. I like them. I don't know. Even though it's a Rainbow Dash episode, I feel like it's like a Rarity episode too, and it's just, I don't know. I like it. They did explain where she went in the season 8 premiere and did return in the final battle. Yeah, they returned to the final battle, but that felt like more like fan service than anything. I like Starlight Glimmer, you know, the one that sold the ponies in the Cutie Marks. I like Starlight Glimmer as well. One of my favorite characters. Definitely one of the best in the series. I'm trying to think about which episode it's in. It may be in one of these episodes, because the cutie remark happens. So I know that in this season, which one was it? Which episode was it? I'm trying to figure out. It's not this one. It's not Slice of Life. It's not. It shouldn't be Princess Spike. It could be, but I don't think it is. It wouldn't have been in Party Pooped. It wouldn't have been in it was in Amending Fences, I think. I think in Amending Fences, Starlight kind of makes a cameo in the background. She has like a newspaper or something like that, and she's spying on him. I think it's Amending Fences, maybe? It could be one of these other episodes, like Candlelight Boutique, or even Rarity Investigates, or something like that. But I remember, I think it was in Amending Fences, because I think it was in the donut shop, when I think they were eating donuts or something. I don't know. I should Per and Trixie. Yeah, again, they seem to very clearly like each other, so I'm down for that ship. But it could really go either way with like Sunburst, because like Starlight very clearly likes Sunburst, but it's not necessarily clear if like Sunburst likes her back. You know what I'm saying? Or Starburst. No, yeah, it is Sunburst. It's not the candy. I thought I said the candy by accident, but I didn't. Not a fan of the Young Six. I'm not a huge fan of them either, but I think I would have liked them if they did more with them. I feel like they didn't get to do as much with them as they wanted. Let's go back up here. Brotherhood of Social, I'm not a big fan of the episode. Crusaders of the Lost Mark is an iconic episode. I love it, but it's not one of my favorites. I can see why people have it on the top rated episodes, but I just don't agree. I just don't agree. Starlight cameos occur everywhere in this season, actually. Is she in every episode? I know she's in more than one episode in this season in the background. I think she's in the, yeah, she's in a couple of them, but I don't know. I don't know which one she's in. I don't think she's in every one of them. Yeah, Crusader of the Lost Mark, it's good. They finally get their kitty marks. It's iconic. It's amazing. And somehow, even though I started the show at season 6, I never got a spoiler for what their kitty marks were. Ever, until I naturally made it back to that episode, because I started from the beginning once I actually got into the show, and I made it to season 5 episode 18, found out what their kitty marks were, and it was actually a genuine surprise to me. Somehow I had never seen it, never seen their kitty marks anywhere, even though I started at season 6. I don't know how that happened, but somehow it did. I see them as just best friends. Maybe. Sun, hello, welcome to the stream. Not every episode, just a lot, because she's studying her target, so to speak. Yeah, she's like in the background, like spying on them and stuff. Exactly. The one where Pinkie Pie knows is okay. It's not a super great episode. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's whatever. It's not a big deal. Another Christmas special. I don't really care about it. That's the one where they go to Pinkie Pie's family for heartwarming. That's where like the Big Mac and marble thing happens that I mentioned earlier, and it's just not a great episode. I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. I don't think they do the Christmas specials very well or something, because I don't like any of them. Scaremaster is good. I actually really love this episode too. Her like learning how to scare them and stuff like that. Her trying to scare them at the beginning and stuff like that, and being terrible at it, and her learning how to scare them properly is great. I love it. What About Discord is also another great episode. Yeah, these two episodes are just really good. I like both of these. I don't know why What About Discord has 5.3 rating. I feel like people don't like Discord. The Cutie Mark Crusaders cutie marks are amazing. I don't understand why people hate it. It's a big thing that they all have the same cutie mark. Well, technically it's not all the same. I mean, it's all the same, but the image inside the thing that's all the same is different. So I needed to watch the My Little Pony franchise. I'm rusty on it all because I watched when I was a child. Man, I don't remember the last time. Actually, probably 2 years ago was the last time I rewatched the entire series. Probably 2 years ago. Yeah, it would have been about 2 years ago, because my fiance, we watched it together. Like, I think when we first got together, I think that was one of the first things we watched together and went through the whole series. But these two episodes are good. I love Scaremaster. Scaremaster is great. I'm gonna write it down even. Scaremaster. And I also think it's interesting because some of Fluttershy's episodes are like something followed by Master, which I always thought was really bizarre. And I always thought like maybe there was some kind of lore to why they always had her episodes include the word Master to it, but they never did anything with it. And I feel like it could have been a missed opportunity because, like, I don't know, they could have done something where she just like started mastering a lot of skills. I don't know. I just think it's interesting, and they could have done something with it. These two episodes, I like them. What about Discord? I think I know why people don't like it. I think people probably just like are very annoyed by it, and I can see why you would be annoyed by this episode. But I kind of like it because it kind of, I don't know. My biggest complaint with this episode actually is at the end of the episode when like Discord is just like good friends with all of them. Twilight absolutely cannot have this. She cannot have her friends be friends with Discord. She can't have it. She has to be their friend. She's a little selfish in this episode, which also is a reason not to like it. But at the end, when she finally learns her lesson and she's like, you know what? This isn't a big deal after all, actually. It all of a sudden they don't care about Discord anymore. Like when she finally figures it out and everything like that, Discord does kind of out himself by like intentionally causing the problem and stuff like that. But they immediately hate him. They immediately are like, oh, we're not super big fans anymore. Which I guess fair enough because he is using the same old jokes that they were using for the entire episode. And that's another reason why I want to like it. But I feel like the end of the episode is actually, surprisingly for me, the worst part of the episode. And in my opinion, the Hooffields and the McColts is even worse than What About Discord. And I don't know why it's sitting there at 6.9 ratings on stars. It's a terrible episode. I always hated this premise. I don't know what it is about it, but anytime I've ever seen something like the Hatfields and the McCoys or whatever that real life family was, every time I see an episode in a show based on this, I hate it. I hate it because it's the same thing. These two families hate each other. Oh no, it's because of a misunderstanding from like 80 years ago. There was a simple misunderstanding. It's terrible. The Great Divide in Avatar: Last Airbender, it's the worst episode. It's the same premise essentially. Ben 10 did it with like on an alien planet. There was like a blue tribe and a red tribe. They hated each other. Simple misunderstanding. Every show I've ever seen that does this premise is just terrible. It's just a terrible premise. And I don't like how they always resolve it by just being like, no, you hate each other because of a misunderstanding from like 80 years ago. Your ancestors did this. You hate each other for no reason, basically. They are even. I feel like it's not a reasonable enough explanation for them to suddenly like each other. You know what I'm saying? Like once they learn it's a misunderstanding, they instantly love each other every time, and it's just terrible. I hate it. It's stupid. I never liked the premise. Anyway, rant over. I'm gonna read chat again. I didn't see the marks anywhere either. I think it's just not discussed a lot, so you don't run into it. That may be true. I hate that Scoot's inside image is like a wing. Like, brother, that's like someone in a wheelchair getting a leg as a cutie mark. Yeah, it should have been a scooter, right? It should have been like a scooter or something instead of a wing. I always thought that was stupid too. Anyway, I hate the episode. It's, in my opinion, it's one of my least favorite episodes, but it's just purely because I hate the premise. And I've never liked the premise. And it's supposed to be like Twilight and Fluttershy like teaming up to solve this problem. And I'm pretty sure Twilight doesn't actually do anything to help resolve the problem other than get them to talk to each other. Fluttershy is the one that figures everything out on her own. And it's just a whole different thing. Anyway, the main attraction, this episode is okay. I'm trying to think about exactly everything that happens in this episode. Applejack tells them that like there's something up with this certain character. I think the rest of the main six agree that something's up with this character, and it's her that they have to convince. Like it's this character that they have to convince, Raja or something like that. They're the ones they have to convince. But I feel like I remember Applejack having to convince the rest of the main six that something is up as well. I feel like she had to convince them too. She may not have, which who knows. But I'm not a big fan of the episode. Scoot having disability was never outright stated. That's true. They never did outright state that she would never fly. They never did say that. And I genuinely think they probably should have given her the ability to fly at the end or something like that. Or if not, they should have outright said that it was a disability and that she actually never would have. They should have confirmed that in the show that it was a disability and that she would never fly. But she still found success. She still found, like, you know, a life. She was able to overcome that in a way without, like, just being like, oh, you can do it magically now or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Her being the disability character, I think, was important. They should have kept it, and they should have confirmed it, if that makes sense. They should have done it. Maybe they didn't have to confirm it until the end of the series, but they should have confirmed it. That's all I'm going to say about it. The cutie remark, these are some of the best episodes as well. These should have been in the top-rated list. You get Starlight. She just straight up, like, won. Like, 100%. She just won. Like, the only reason why Starlight fails in this episode is because she stops herself. Starlight was so powerful and so good at what she was doing that there was nothing Twilight could do except try to convince her. And it took her until she brought her to, like, the freaking Ashlands and shit like that to convince her that, like, you stopping us being friends literally destroys the world. For her to finally convince them. She has a bit of a hover sometimes. That's okay. Like, having like a light hover is okay, because, like, there's plenty of disabilities in real life where you can kind of do it a little bit. Like, there's plenty of people, for example, in wheelchairs that can walk or stand, but they really can't at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some that can, like, walk like a couple of feet, or they can walk a little bit, but they mostly can't walk, and so they have a wheelchair. Cutie remark, absolutely brilliant. Starlight revealing absolutely how powerful she was. And then season 6, when we get into season 6, Starlight Glimmer being a permanent character, never could have saw it coming. I don't think anyone could have saw it coming. But this right here, the Crystalline Part 1 and Part 2, was the first episode I had ever seen. The first 2 episodes I had ever seen of My Little Pony, ever. And these 2 episodes were exactly why I decided to watch the whole series. Because I saw the Crystalline Part 1, her wings don't change in the time skip at all. They're still tiny and sticking out weirdly when she's an adult. I'm pretty sure she can't fly any better as an adult if it's not worse. Yes, possibly, but again, they should have properly confirmed it rather than it being something in the background for like half a second. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the Lyra and Bonbon thing where they got married. It happened in the background for like 2 seconds. That's nice. That's kind of all we need for that, necessarily. We don't necessarily need a big, like, oh, they're confirmed. You know, we didn't necessarily have to see any more confirmation than that. I think they do confirm it better in, like, a newspaper or something. But for Scootaloo, they should have been more clear with it, I think. Rather than, like, oh, your wings are small, you know? Because you have to consider the fact that Bulk Biceps wings are, I think, even smaller than Scootaloo's, as, like, when Scootaloo was an adult. And he can fly just fine. I mean, it's he can't fly super great, but he can fly just fine. So the magic of flight or whatever kind of overcomes that. I think, again, because of that, because that's another reason why they should have been extra sure that she was disabled and couldn't fly. Anyway, Crystalline Part 1. This was my very first episode. The reason why I watched the show is because I kept seeing it. I kept seeing stuff on Google about it, songs, you know, fandom songs, all this other stuff like that. And so I was like, I'll give the show a chance. This was the episode that was like premiering. I think it was literally premiering that very night. So I recorded it on the DVR or something like that. I saw that there was a part 2 coming up right afterwards, and I was like, okay, I may as well record that too, just in case I happen to like part 1. I'll record part 2. I ended up liking it because you could imagine my surprise when I find out that like Starlight just straight up isn't a character for the first 5 seasons when I went back. But she Starlight had like this past. There was, oh shit, I'm getting a donation. Goodness gracious. Popping in and out real quick, but yes, I agree. Starlight is the most powerful there. Girl was able to banish Discord from a location. Yeah.
Real quick. But yes, I agree. Starlight is the most powerful there. Girl was able to banish Discord from a location.
Yeah, their thing was shown on a newspaper. I agree. Goodness gracious, I haven't even shown the perks in a while. Musification, you said you were just popping in real quick, but you do get some donation rewards. We did change them since last time you were here, I think. You get to, your name is already on the canvas. You get to change my profile picture for a day, so if you want to message me on Discord or something like that, go ahead. And you can also get a drawing of your character and get to post on my Blue Sky account for the $19.99 donation. So go ahead and message me on Discord. You can message me on Blue Sky too if you want to instead, or some other social media or something like that. Just hit me up and you can get those rewards, I'll get them to you. I'll just need to see an image or a reference sheet or something of your character. Just any kind of image, even just a Ponytown character will work. And I'll get that drawn and get it to you. But those are the donations. Thank you for the donation. It's the introduction of Flurry Heart. Yeah, that was another thing. Like, Starlight had this interesting past. Like, I was like, what the fuck did she do? Like, even in part 2, I was still, like, not completely sure what the heck she did. So I was like, what the heck does Starlight do? Like, I need to know now. There was the whole mystery with, like, Flurry Heart being born as an alicorn and them talking about, like, how that was impossible. And I was like, holy shit, there's, like, lore and stuff. And then they're like, the entire Crystal Empire was about to be destroyed, and I was like, holy shit, there's like stakes and stuff, like stuff is going down. And the episodes were 22 minutes each, which caught me off guard because I assumed that My Little Pony was like 10-minute episodes or something like that. So I was very caught off guard, and so I was like, damn, this might actually be worth watching. So I went back and watched the series, and I liked it. And then Starlight came up, and I got to see what she did, and I was like, heck yeah, let's go. Now I know. And I got to see like when they first learned about Flurry Heart. And even though I started here, I had not seen. I'll see. Yeah, I'll send you the stuff. Like I'll screenshot the Blue Sky post or whatever if you wanted to make a post on there for me. Like choose what I post on there. I mean, I'll screenshot it and send it to you on Discord or something else as well. So if you do that stuff, I'll show that I did it, even if you don't have the social media. But there was just so much lore in this, and I was like, I gotta see more of the show, and I did, and it was great. Somehow I didn't get spoiled on the Kingdom Hearts Crusaders. I didn't get spoiled on anything really. I went into this super blind. Let's see, the Gift of Mod Pie, again a Mod Pie episode, not too bad. It's okay. I do like the idea of them like trying to find a proper gift for them and stuff like that, and then she's willing to give up her cannon for her and stuff like that. It's interesting. It's good. It's wholesome. Maybe not the best in the world, but it's good. It's something. On your marks. With their goal achieved. Yeah, this one was interesting too because we didn't get to see like. Wow, wait, hang on. Yeah, this is where they got summoned to the Dragonland. It's not the other episode. What was that other episode about then? I think they went there just to like figure out what the dragons were about. Why did they go there before? I don't know. But in this episode's good. I like the Gauntlet of Fire. The Gauntlet of Fire is a good episode. Very good. No Second Prances. I love this one. That's gotta get put on my list here. Second Prances. That's a great episode. It's a Trixie Starlight episode. Some of my favorite characters. Trixie finally beats Twilight in a way. There's kind of a heartbreak there, and like all that kind of stuff. There's good lessons in there. It's just a good episode. I just like it. It's a good episode. Moochie, hello, welcome to the stream. Newbie Dash, not a big fan of that one. Super don't like it. And then Heartswarming Tale, my least favorite fruit. Damn, I really don't know. There's a lot of fruits I haven't had. Probably an apple though. Heartswarming Tale is probably the best Christmas special, I guess you could say. But otherwise, I'm not really a big fan of it. Like, I'm not a big fan of how they do the Christmas specials on this show. I just really don't. Saddle Row Review. I'm trying to go through these. We still got 3 more seasons to go through. Saddle Row Review, not super great either. I don't care too much about it. Actually, wait, no, that's the one where yeah, that's the one with the article and like they're like doing the interviews. I actually like this episode. This episode's actually good. I like how they structured this episode. This episode was well structured. I liked it. Applejack's Day Off is stupid. Flutter Brudder. This episode's okay. This episode just is obnoxious. This episode is obnoxious. That's the best way to put it. I just came out of a mental hospital after something I did. I never realized that life is worth living for. Also, I'm much better. I got a kitten who tears up my shit, but I love him. Goodness gracious. All right. Well, I'm glad you're doing better. They overreacted just because she doesn't want to celebrate. Yeah, the Heartswarming Tale, they overreact because she doesn't want to celebrate. I don't know if you could call that an overreaction though. It's pretty much just like, hey, I understand why you don't want to celebrate, but I'm going to tell you this story, and then if you want to celebrate afterwards, you can come with us or not come with us. I don't think anyone else is like, oh my god, you can't You can't not like Christmas. Oh goodness. It's not, I don't think it's anything like that. I think the character that from the story maybe gets like a bit of an overreaction for not liking the holidays and stuff like that, but I don't know. It's a Scrooge thing, so it's just the Scrooge story all over again. Spice Up Your Life. I actually liked Spice Up Your Life. That one was not too bad. Oh dear Celestia, Fluttershy's brother pissed me off. That entire episode was uncomfortable and it was obnoxious. I didn't like it. I'm just not a big fan of it. Stranger Than Fan Fiction is actually probably Rainbow Dash's best episode. That's probably Rainbow Dash's best episode. I don't like it though. I still don't like it. That should be like a 6, not an 8.2. Like, what the heck is that about? The Cutie Mark Crusaders get the chance to race in the annual Applewood Derby. I freaking hated this episode too. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. This episode was terrible. The cart before the ponies. This episode was absolutely terrible. I don't like this episode. It just kind of goes back to some of the things I've said before. Some of these characters in the main 6 are just way too selfish. Some of them are way too selfish, and that's just something that carries over for the entire series. And this is another example of the main 6 being selfish. Or at the very least, Applejack and Rainbow Dash being too selfish. All of the time, it's Rainbow Dash and Applejack. I know Rarity was there too, but most of the time, Applejack and Rainbow Dash are depicted as selfish, and this episode is no exception. They're always selfish, all of the time. Rarity was in this one too, but the fact that Applejack and Rainbow Dash are selfish in this one just adds more to it, because they're just selfish in a lot of episodes. Terrible episode. I don't think I even have to say why. 28 Pranks Later. The only part of this episode that's great is the later half of it, when they're tricking Rainbow Dash into thinking she's turned the entire village into zombies. That's the only part of the episode that's great, is that later half there. I want you to change your profile picture to an apple then, specifically a school lunch apple. All right, I'll find a school lunch apple and I'll change it. I guess I could do that right now, maybe. I don't think I have an apple. School apple image. Can I just go? Will that work? Goodness gracious. Yeah, that might work. Let me try it here. Let me try to download this image. It's not even letting me click on the image. It's not even letting me click on the image. The times they are a changeling, I cannot watch the song Spike sings. I liked that episode. I like that episode. I'm not a big fan of the singing in that episode. The song isn't super great. But it's a great episode. I like this one. And I love the ending as well. It's a great message. It's great. This image makes it look like they're in love with each other or something, but the episode's good. I like the episode. It's a good episode. Dungeons and Discords is good too. However, I also think this is another one of Discord's weaker episodes. It may be because like they do the same thing that I've seen in almost every other show as well. Now the AJ avatar will be boring. Danny is part of the Apple family now. Oh no. Dungeons and Discords is a good episode. I think him putting them in the game, maybe that's like too much. I don't know. Maybe that's what bothers me about this episode. There's something in this episode that I'm not a big fan of. Maybe it's the fact that Big Mac is there. I don't know what it is, but something about this episode is not super great, but it's a good episode. Discord's great in it. Buckball season, we can say no to that episode. That episode's terrible. The Fault in Our Cutie Marks is actually a pretty good episode. I liked Gabby. I kind of wish we could have saw her more. Great character. I genuinely think this was a good character and a good episode. A really, really good episode. Viva Las Pegasus. I don't care about this episode either. I'm not a big fan of it. Every little thing she does after missing out on some friendship lessons. Starlight episode, guys. Starlight episode. It's a good one. Starlight's there. It's a good one. That's all I can say. Hang on, I'm saving. The Apple thing finally loaded, so I'm gonna save it now. Where's? Goodness gracious! Is it gonna freaking download it, bro? I don't know why it's being slow with this. Save image. It's not even bringing up like the ability. There we go. Okay. Save. Cancel that one. All right. Discord. I'm changing it right now, chat. Changing it right now. User settings. and then I'll have to change it again at 104 tomorrow. Profiles. Oh, I can't do any of it while streamer mode is enabled. I'll have to do it. I'll have to do it after the stream. No, fuck. All right. Gabby does return majorly in season 9. Does she? What does she do in season 9 that I don't remember? I don't remember what she does in season. Oh yeah, she has that whole thing with Spike. That's a good episode too, actually. I like that episode. Every little thing she does, Starlight episode, great. Can't complain. Pony point of view. I am upset though that like it took so long to get Starlight another episode, because if you think about it, Starlight is like, she's the new character. She gets the 2-parter. There's a couple of episodes, and then she gets her first episode, basically. It's hard to say these 2 episodes count as, like, Starlight's first episode, because it's, you know, she was literally introduced in this episode, basically. Then she gets this episode. And then, I guess she technically gets this one, too, but I'm not going to count it, because it's a Christmas special, and all the characters in those. Then, she's in this one, too, but not very majorly. Nothing. It takes a while before she kind of comes back into the spotlight. And when she does, it's pretty nice, because you get to see her doing magic that's like insane levels, insane magic feats. Flame and Flame were good villains. I honestly think they were good villains. However, I think this should have possibly been where they finally redeemed themselves. The Las Pegasus one. Because they just kind of, I don't know. I feel like after that point, they overdo it. You know what I'm saying? Pony point of view was terrible. Absolutely hate it. I barely remember what happens, but basically they come back from this boat trip and they all make these exaggerated stories as to what happened. And then you find out what actually happened, and you're like, how the fuck do any of these people here that went through that think that anything else happened? How could Applejack blame Rarity for this when very clearly that isn't even close to what actually happened? And how can Rarity blame Applejack for this when that isn't even close to what actually happened? And so on and so on. It's just really stupid. It's really dumb. It could have been better if they had made it more realistically, like, accidental, or like made it actually look like they were at fault. But when you go back and watch the episode at the end, when they actually reveal what happened, it's so obvious that neither of them did anything. And it's so obvious that none of it was like it was by accident, but you can very clearly tell that it wasn't on purpose, and that it wasn't their fault. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it was very clear that there was no reason they should have hated each other for this, because of what actually happened. And they were there to see what actually happened. It's just really bizarre. Where the Apple Lies, terrible episode as well. Although I do like that we get to see their origin, so to speak. Top Bolt was good, actually, surprisingly, even though it's a kind of a Rainbow Dash-esque episode. And then, oh my goodness, to Where and Back Again? This 2-parter? Amazing. Absolutely incredible. This is too great. Could have used random ponies and it would have been better. Yeah, they probably should have used different characters or something like that. Maybe they didn't, like, they could have used characters that didn't know each other very well. It could have been some kind of, like, friendship lesson, maybe, that like Twilight was sending some people on or something. She was like, you guys haven't really been nice to each other, let's send you off on this cruise or something like that. And they come back and it's like, this happened, no, this happened. Even if it was just the Cutie Mark Crusaders that had come back from that trip and hated each other, I think even that would have played at least a little bit better, because they're children, you know. But whatever. These 2 episodes were great. I love this one. Starlight gets to show off how good she is, how powerful she is. She literally like outshines everyone. Just great. Trixie is there. Discord is there. All of the best characters in the show are there. And they get to save the day for once, and it's just great. Absolutely amazing. I see season 7. What's in season 7? Celestial Advice. I'm not a big fan of that episode. All Bottled Up was good too. Yeah. I don't know why they're using this image as the thumbnail, because I don't think that... Oh, that did happen, because they went on the escape room thing. And that happens in that episode. This All Bottled Up was good too. Maybe not the best, but it was good. It kind of shows the dangers of bottling up your emotions and stuff. A Flurry of Emotions. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of Flurry Heart and the episodes about Flurry Heart and everything like that. They probably should have done more with the character, maybe, but I'm not a big fan of those. Rock Solid Friendship. I liked this one. I liked seeing Maud and Starlight become friends. I think that was good. Fluttershy leans in. Which one is this one? This was a good episode too. Goodness gracious. Season 7 had a lot of great episodes, didn't it? Yeah, these were, holy shit. Yeah, the first like 4 episodes are great. The first one maybe not super great, but it's okay. But 2, 3, well, actually not 3 either. 2, 4, and 5 are just great. We got a lot of great episodes in a row. I hate to say it, but I actually kind of like Forever Philly as well. They kind of did what they did with Applejack and the overprotection thing, but more with like Rarity's perspective with Sweetie Belle, because she doesn't realize that like Sweetie Belle is growing up and she wants to be the, you know, her to be a child forever basically. It is really weird though, because it kind of feels more of like an episode that you would expect a mother to have rather than like a sister to have. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think sisters get that emotional about their little sister growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I mean, it may be because like me and my siblings, like we all like we're only like like a couple of years apart from each other. But I don't know. I feel like if I had like a little sister or a little brother or something like that, that was like 8 years younger than me or something like that, or 20 years younger than me or something to that effect, right? I don't think I would necessarily be super sad that they're growing up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It just feels like more of a mother episode, which is weird, and that's fine. Yeah, it works as like a sister thing too, but it just felt a little bit weird that way. So it's definitely not my favorite episode. Parental guidance. I don't like that episode either. Hard to say anything. I don't like that episode either. Again, Big Mac, I don't like any of his episodes, and all of his episodes are the relationship ones for some reason. I don't know why they didn't want any of the other characters to get into a relationship or to have any kind of relationship situation going on at all, except for Big Mac. I don't know why they decided that. There's so many other characters they could have done something with when it comes to relationships, not even out of the main 6, just so many other characters they could have done. They could have had like Scootaloo or a Sweetie Belle or something to that effect. They could have had a lot of other characters, so many other characters that could have had a relationship episode for a Valentine's Day episode, and they never did anything with any of them for some reason. I don't know why they didn't. Honest Apple, again, terrible. A Real Problem is pretty good. A Real Problem is pretty good. Does Sweetie Belle live with Rarity? She might not know that she has grown that much. It's really hard to say, because in the show, like, they have parents. Like, we've seen their parents. But they never really showed like Sweetie Belle living with her parents. You know what I'm saying? Like she seemed to always be at Rarity's house whenever we saw her, instead of our own house or something. Danny hates the main McDonald's burger. I don't know why. I actually am not a big fan of Big Macs. I prefer just a regular double cheeseburger, but that's a different story. Royal Problem, Royal Problem, Royal Problem. Royal Problem is a great episode. I can see why it's a 9 out of 10. Honestly, I could see this being even higher on the list. It's a great episode. Royal Problem is really good. Royal Probs. Royal Problem is a great episode. 100%. Not Asking for Trouble is... What the hell is this episode? Oh, she goes to the Yak. I'm just gonna say it up front. All of the Yak episodes, none of them are gonna be my favorite episode. Now, Discordant Harmony is a pretty good episode. That's a really good one. That is a super good one. Discord Harmony is all right down on my notes here. Man, it's season 7 was a great season. This was a really good season. We just came off of like a great finale for season 6, which kind of makes season 7 a little bit weaker that way. But there's some good episodes. Again, we got All Bottled Up, Rock Solid Friendship, Fluttershy Leans In. Forever Philly is maybe not super great, but it's definitely better than a lot of these other episodes. We get a couple of bad episodes here, but then we get huge bangers like A Royal Problem, Discordant Harmony, The Perfect Pair. It's a controversial take, but Perfect Pair is not my favorite episode. I like it. It's nice. It is definitely not my favorite episode though. It just isn't. It really just isn't. I guess I lied about the Big Mac thing. We did get to see another relationship in this series, and that was in The Perfect Pair. However, it's still the Apple family. So it's basically Big Mac. the father is basically Big Mac, and the mother is, I don't know, some other random character. I don't know. So it's kind of, I don't know. It still feels like a Big Mac episode, and I just don't like the Apple family that much. I really just don't like the Apple family that much, and it also does feel like another one of those pointless feuds where it was a miscommunication from like the from like 100 years ago or like 80 years ago. There was this miscommunication between these two families or something like that, and so I hate your family and you hate my family and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of ridiculous. So it kind of has that same feel as the Hatfields and the Coys thing. But Discord and Harmony, like that's definitely up there in some of my favorite episodes. It's just great. It's a good feel. We get to see some of the best of Discord. We get to see some great Fluttershy. We even get to see how some of the other characters perceive Discord and stuff like that. It's nice. Yeah, I think it's just a great episode. Fame and Misfortune. This episode pisses me off. One of the bloopers from The Perfect Pair, the VA Granny Smith calling Bright Mac Big Mac on accident. Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely. We're an hour and 40 minutes in here. I mean, it's actually I've taken the full 2 hour stream here. Fame and Misfortune is one of the absolute worst episodes in the entire series. It is probably the worst episode in the entire series. I think it's one of the 3 worst episodes in the entire series. 100%. Paints the perfect picture of Big Mac romancing his mother. Goodness gracious. Triple Threat is good. It's definitely not one of the best. I loved Fame and Misfortune. Fame and Misfortune could have been better, but the ending absolutely destroys the entire episode. Everything they do in that episode is immediately invalidated, and everything good about the episode is immediately ruined by the ending because they don't resolve their problem. They do this, they come up with this problem, they struggle with this problem for the entire episode, and then at the end they're just like, well, they'll move on to something else. It's not that big of a deal, actually. These guys ruining our lives, it's not a big deal, actually. Well, it's fine. It'll blow over. Like, well, you can't do that. Terrible. The worst written episode. Clay Arts, see you around, gamer. See you around. And have a good rest. Nah, River, that's crazy. Campfire Tales, I don't really care for that one either. To Change the Changeling, I actually really like this episode too. Fair point, actually. It's terribly written because nothing gets resolved. There is just a problem, and the problem consists for the entire episode. They don't learn any lessons. Nothing gets resolved. And they just pretend like that never happened. For the rest of the series, they don't even acknowledge... I don't even think they acknowledge the friendship journal for the rest of the series. They just pretend like it never happened. It's ridiculous. The ending, it's just terrible. It shouldn't have existed. They should have resolved the issue rather than it just be like, it'll be fine. Stupid. That's basically teaching kids and whoever else watches the episode that you don't have to face your problems. They'll work out on their own. That's basically what that episode is trying to teach, and it is terrible. Terrible. Anyway, To Change the Changeling is a great episode. Them going to the reformed changeling hive, I thought that was super great because we got to see what their life was like there. We got to learn more about the changelings and what they're doing now that everything is different. You get that one changeling that's different. They never even revisit the Kieran in the show either. Yeah, they don't revisit the Kieran in the show either, do they? That's crazy. They should have been in the finale. They should have been in the finale. Maybe they were in the background somewhere, but they should have been in the finale. It's just a great episode. Daring Done, I don't care about it. I don't like the Daring Do stuff. It isn't the main thing about you. I don't care. I don't really care for this episode either. A Health of Information, I liked this episode. Again, Fluttershy getting upset. Why'd they use the thumbnail for this episode? What the fuck? Fluttershy getting obsessed enough to get very sick and hurt herself about trying to fix this problem so much. I liked it. I think it had a good message to it. I think it's a good episode. Twilight's side plot of like trying to make this food, by the way, is kind of funny too. Marks and Recreation was also a really good episode. I loved that episode. Once Upon a Zeppelin was good. Maybe not super good though. Definitely not my favorite. I think I'm just gonna start skimming over some of these rather than giving my full opinion on this, on everything. Secrets and Pies. I don't like this episode at all. It's at least okay because Rainbow Dash gets basically a pie to the face, and Rainbow Dash suffers, and I like that. Uncommon Bond. I liked Uncommon Bond, but it's not my favorite Starlight episode. I think, well, actually, it's pretty nice. Actually, I kind of like the dynamic of like they kind of just straight up grew apart. Like they only just recently like met up again after years of being apart, and Starlight kind of figures out that like Sunburst is just straight up a different person now, which is true. That just happens. People grow apart. So it's kind of a nice message, and I like it for that. The Shadow Play Part 1 and Part 2 are good. I like both of these episodes. I'm not really sure what else I can say about them. They're just really good episodes. Rainbow Dash is such a jerk. There is no reason for Rainbow Dash to lie about all the pie stuff either. I don't know why that was even a plot point. At least if they show a Kieran in the friendship school. I think they do. Alright, on to Season 8. This is where we finally get like the school stuff. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big fan of like the Part 1, Part 2 stuff. Like them setting up the school. I don't think I really care that much about those episodes. The mod couple, I don't like this one because I don't like the boyfriend in this episode. He's a terrible character. Something about him is even worse than Mod. I don't know what it is, but it's really annoying. Fake It Till You Make It. Fluttershy vows to look at after Rarity's Manhattan boutique. Well, yeah, that's the one where she gets split personality syndrome again. They do what? What did I miss? I skipped. I goodness gracious. They do what? What do they do? Tell me while I go through more of these. Hey, Pinky, I'm not a big fan of pie. Could you just make me some cupcakes instead? Yeah, it would like... What? Like, I don't know. It's just stupid. It's just such a stupid lie to lie about for years. For literally years. For as long as they've known each other, basically. It's crazy. That's crazy. Granny's Gone Wild is not a great episode. They have a Rick and Morty cameo in that episode, by the way. Really ridiculous. Surf and or Turf. They do depict divorce as like, oh, you have to choose the water or the land. You have to choose one of divorce in an interesting way there. I can't speak on if they depict it well or not or anything like that, but it's interesting. I do like that they kind of went about like one of those issues. They kind of did it in a way that wasn't necessarily explicitly they're divorced. You know what I'm saying? It's a good episode. The amount of wasted pies, it hurts my heart. Yeah, I don't like pie. I don't really like pie either. You guys are gonna hate me, but apple pie is probably the best pie. But I don't like pie. Horseplay. I'm trying to think. Celestia's dream of being in a play is fulfilled. Yeah, this episode just wasn't great. This Twilight should have just talked to Celestia. They had known each other for so long. It's ridiculous that they haven't like this issue ever happened. You know what I'm saying? Not a great episode. I do like that they actually threw on a play though. That was kind of neat. The parent map. When Starlight, Glimmer, and Sunburst are called by the cutie map to visit their old town. Oh, I remember this episode now. Immediately, I can say it's not my favorite because I forgot what this episode was. Horseplay, easily my least favorite episode out of the entirety of season 1. Really? Wait, you mean season 8, right? Because Horseplay wasn't in season 1, it's in season 8. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think it's my least favorite episode. Non-complete clause in season 8 is probably my least favorite because the friendship journal thing isn't in this one. Yeah, the parent map was okay. Danny, that's crazy. You had Applejack, but apple pie is the best pie. I don't know. I don't have good pie. I just haven't had good pie. I'm just gonna say that. That's it. That's probably it. I've had cherry pie. I've had chocolate pie. Chocolate pie is basically just pudding. Can we all agree that chocolate pie is basically just pudding? Like, I don't like it. It's not super great. I've had I'm trying to think of other pies. I've had coconut pie, but I hate coconut. So, of course, I didn't like that. You misread my previous message. Oh, outside of the entirety of season 1. I see that now. I hate apples, but apple pies. But apples is fine. My brain. Goodness gracious. Yeah, Non-Complete Clause is the worst episode, according to IMDb. I agree that it's definitely one of the worst episodes. Not my favorite. The Break Up Breakdown actually isn't a bad episode. This is the only Big Mac episode that's like a relationship that they actually did that was okay. This was the best one out of the ones they had done. However, outside of The Perfect Pair. But I still don't like it. It's not my favorite. I do like that like Discord is there and it's kind of like a guys thing and they're trying to like do all this. Again, though, I just feel like a misunderstanding is always like the just such a weak plot point. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, the only good pie is pumpkin. Oh, I've had pumpkin pie before too. I don't like pumpkin pie either. The Reese's pie. I've never had Reese's pie before. Throw me a Reese's pie. It's just a big Reese's cup. Well, I probably wouldn't like it then, maybe. Meltdown. The Meltdown was a great episode. I liked this episode. I feel like it was a long time coming, giving him wings finally. It was great. Marks for Effort. She finally appears. The Mean Six. This episode was good. This episode was funny. This episode was just funny. That's all I can say about the Mean Six. Because the main six just never, they literally never figure out what happened. They never figure out that like they're clones that they've been interacting with. They just kind of argue at each other and stuff like that, and they get upset, and then finally they all meet up at the end, and they just laugh about it. They're like, you know what, this is ridiculous. We're just a handful of goober friends, aren't we? And they just kind of make up. So not only does Queen Chrysalis's plan absolutely bomb, like it just fails absolutely horribly, but the main six never even figure out but what happened. It's hilarious, and I love it for that. And so for that reason, it's a good episode. I don't think it's my favorite episode though. Especially since they're kind of reusing the plot they used in like season 2, where like Discord like changed their personalities. They basically did the same thing except made them clones instead. So it's kind of whatever. Yakety 6 again, immediately not my favorite because it's a yak episode. I said earlier that none of those are gonna be my favorite. I don't think it's a great episode either, and I understand why it's a 5.3. It's a little annoying, and they basically tell her to stop having fun. And she gets super depressed. A Matter of Principles is a great episode. I don't know why this one's 6.4 stars. This is a great episode. She gets put in charge of the school. She shows off more amazing magical feats, banishing Discord. Discord is like interfering and messing with them and stuff like that. I just love Discord. I love Starlight. It's a good episode. Not one of my favorite episodes, but a good episode. The Heartswarming Club. This is... They killed them at the end, so that was horrific. Yeah, they did kill them at the end. That was horrific to an extent. I do think it was hilarious, though. Yeah, the Matter of Principle one, it's him messing up stuff like that. And the Heartswarming Club, this is the only other Heartswarming Christmas special episode that I think is good. And I again, it's kind of that investigative thing, so maybe that's why I like it. But I also like the them sharing their memories of like their home and stuff like that, sharing what they do around this time of year, learning about their other cultures and stuff like that. And then also the end where they figure out who did it and why they did it. Just great. I like it. It's wholesome for that reason, and it's kind of sad in a way. It's really nice. I love that episode when Fluttershy and Angel changed bodies and she said, I want to marry Discord to prove that he is Fluttershy. Yeah, that's in season 9, I think. I don't think that's in this season. We're almost there, though. Friendship University. I don't care for that one. I think it's stupid. I think Star Swirl the Bearded going for this school versus Twilight School is just stupid and ridiculous of him to do at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't seem like something that he would do. You know what I'm saying? He's this super wise guy. He knows Twilight. Like, he's seen that she knows what she's talking about when it comes to friendship. And instead of learning from the Princess of Friendship, the person who is the most qualified in the world to teach friendship, he decides he's going to go to these two random guys for some reason. What? What the fuck? Why? What the fuck? That's so stupid. He's so stupid. He mocked her so hard. He did mock her. The End and Friend, terrible episode. Road to Friendship was a good episode. Not the best episode though, for sure. The Washouts. Scootaloo becomes obsessed with the Washouts, a team of stuff. Yeah, that one's okay. Again, not the best. A Rock Hoof in a Hard Place. I liked this episode of them trying to figure out what to do with him after they came back to life or whatever and everything like that. I kind of liked that, him trying to adjust to modern society. But again, not the best episode, not my favorite for sure. What Lies Beneath? Man, they really started doing some weird fucking shit towards the end of the series, didn't they? He's old, so I think him falling for a scam is funny. You know what? You're right. Looking at it from that perspective, it does make it a little bit better. I still don't like it, though. What Lies Beneath? Everything they started doing towards the end of the series with, like, the new main six. They even call them the Young Six in this show, but the Young Six, everything they did with them towards the end of the series made it feel like the finale was going to have them be more involved, but I don't think they were really that involved in the finale. They definitely did some super cool stuff with them towards the end. Sounds of Silence, iconic episode. You're going to hate me, but it's not my favorite episode. I think it's an overrated episode. It's just, I don't know. It just feels like any other episode, you know? And it is interesting that they go on a friendship adventure, a friendship lesson adventure, when they hadn't done that in so long. It's good. It's a good episode. It's just not the best, you know? The Kierans are great. And this is why I think they should have done more with the thing. You hate them? You talking about the Young Six, or are you talking about the Rockhoof guy? Because I'm kind of going faster here now. This is one of the worst episodes ever. I understand why it's got a 5.7. Honestly, it should be even lower, probably closer to a 5. Father's Knows Beast, terrible episode. They were extremely involved in the season 8 finale. Yeah, but not the finale. I'm talking like the finale of the whole series is what I'm talking about. Anyway. Yeah, the finale, the school raise, where like the school got taken over by fucking, what the hell is her name? I forgot her name. Cozy Glow. Getting taken over by her. These are great episodes. Again, though, not my favorites, I don't think. Something about this series, I don't ever really remember School Raise. Every time I've rewatched it, I come back to it, I'm like, I don't really remember what happens. Bro's beefing with every episode that Applejack shows up in. She's just in terrible episodes. Now, Sounds of Silence is a great episode. It's just not one of my favorites, and I think it's overrated. I think people see that they introduced a new creature called a Kieran, and they're like, holy shit, this is the best episode ever, because they introduced this cool new thing. Now we can make more OCs, and we can do this and that with stuff. Oh my god, so many more fanfics that opened up just now because of this one thing they did. I think people overhyped it because they introduced something new. And the fact that the show never did anything new or more with these characters after this episode, in my opinion, kind of shows that either the entirety of season 9 was already finished when they introduced these characters, or this episode didn't do as well as people think it did, and so they didn't want to reuse the characters. Because, like, I mean, come on, like, they should have done more with the characters, and the fact that they didn't feels like maybe the showrunners didn't like the characters. Who knows? I don't know. They should have revisited Karen's, but it's definitely not one of my favorites. I feel like it's overrated. Like Applejack and Fluttershy kind of just beef a lot in that episode too. It's just whatever. Applejack wasn't my favorite, but the Applejack is the best background character. Try it. Trend made me feel bad for her. I don't even know what Trend you're talking about. I think it tackles how to handle emotions decently well, explaining that friends can still get into arguments but work through it. Yeah, it does. It's a good episode. You guys gotta understand, I like this episode. It's a good episode. It's just not one of my favorites, and I think it's a little bit overhyped. And I think the reason why it's overhyped is because they introduced a new creature called a Kieran. I think that's why it's overhyped. School Raise episodes, these are good, but I always forget what happens in them. So every time I rewatch them, it's kind of like new to me a little bit. The Beginning of the End, Part 1 and Part 2. This is where King Sombra came back because of, what the hell was his name? What the fuck was his name? I don't even remember what that guy's name was. It was like Bell or something. Grogar. It was Grogar. That was his name. he brought him back to life or whatever, and it was a whole thing. These were good episodes. I definitely feel like it was a weaker finale, or sorry, a weaker beginning than some of the other beginnings we've had. Uprooted was pretty cool too. I really kind of liked what they were doing with the Young Six. I thought it was interesting to have them kind of almost inherit this, the elements of harmony to an extent. I thought it was pretty interesting, but they didn't go enough in that direction. And I do feel like maybe if they had gotten to season 10, they may have done more with the Young Six and had them maybe properly inherit it or something, because they clearly had more plans with them. They just didn't really go through with those plans, possibly because they didn't get another season, but it'd be like that. Sparkle 7, that can't be a favorite episode either, because I don't like it as much as some of the other ones. The Point of No Return, this was an interesting episode too. I don't actually like it though. It's not a super great episode. Common Ground, ironically, I actually liked this episode just because of Quibble. I liked Quibble. Like, Quibble as a character, I liked him, and I was really shocked when he showed back up in season 9 like this. I was like, holy shit, it's Quibble! He came back! I can't believe it. I really never expected him to ever show up again. Him showing up and all that stuff, I thought that was kind of nice. I hate how at the end of the episode it had Somber laughing as if he's about to attack the tree, but then in the next episode he's never even mentioned. Yeah. Characters is a strong word. The only character in that episode is Autumn Blaze. Well, I'm not saying like characters, I'm saying like creatures, like the Kirans as a list of characters. The rest are literary devices, just something to catch visuals to what Autumn says, such as our leader. Yeah. Season 10 does exist in comic form and apparently does do a lot with the Young Six. I've only read a little bit of season 10 of the season 10 comics. They do some weird stuff towards like the end, like towards that. Like they have like a whole thing with Zakora. There's like another element. There's like another tree of harmony. There's like multiple trees of harmony because Capper comes back and they go back to his original village and they find out there's one there. Zakora's village had one. They do one. I think there's one in the Dragonlands even or something. And they ended up finding multiple like trees of harmony and like they do a big thing with that. That's pretty cool. I think that's right before the season 10 comics start though. There's some cool stuff towards the end of those comics, and once you get to season 10 comics, they do some weird stuff. But I didn't read through all of that. But yeah, She's All Yak. Don't necessarily care about that one. Grogar sends his Legion of Doom on a mission to become allies, but that was a good episode too. Not one of my favorites though. I've heard it's not good. I haven't even read them. I made a video about like what happens in season 10 of My Little Pony, and I talked about like how oh no, spoilers. I spoiled a lot of stuff in the comics already. But yeah, there's an interesting thing. They do some weird stuff with it. Like it's worth reading because I didn't necessarily spoil it properly. There's just basically all you know now from what I said here is that there is multiple trees of harmony. And there's characters that find them. That's basically all you learn from me. I didn't really spoil too much. Frenemies, this was an okay episode. It's kind of it's whatever, you know. Sweet and Smoky, what is this one? Smolder Returns of Dragonlands. Oh, yeah, I don't really care about this one either. This episode is whatever. Going to Seed, Apple Bloom's Sisters. This episode is stupid too. I think this episode is dumb. It's an Applejack episode, and I hate to say that all Applejack's episodes are terrible, but I don't like this episode. I really don't like it. They basically try to find the Easter Bunny. That's basically what they do. It's ridiculous. Student Council. This was a great episode too. Trixie like learning her role. That's what this episode is, isn't it? That's not what that episode is. What the fuck is that episode then? I'm pretty sure that's what happens in this one. I don't know what this one is then. If that's not the one where like, yeah, no, it's not. What the hell? That must have happened way later in the series than I remembered, unless I passed it by accident. I don't know for sure what this one is. I'm not sure if I remember what Student Council is. I know she gets like she starts getting a lot of people coming to her like because she's the counselor now. But I don't know. Is that the one with Trixie in it? I don't think it is. The Last Crusade. No, this was a great episode too. I liked this episode. Again, not one of my favorites though. We can skip that one too. Between Dark and Dawn. This episode was kind of, I don't know, it felt, I hate to use the word filler, but it kind of just felt like filler. Well, Danny, it's a kids show. Of course, some of the episodes are going to have plots that don't make sense. Well, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm fine with plots that don't make sense as long as they're done well. And this, I don't know. I don't know if this was done well. The Last Laugh. The fact that they got Weird Al to come back twice is hilarious to me. But that was a good episode too. I like that episode. I didn't like that Pinkie Pie and Cheese Sandwich episode. I did. I liked it. 246, great. I don't care about this episode either. In fact, I forgot it even existed. I 100% forgot this episode existed. Trivial Pursuit. I've heard a lot of people say they don't like this episode. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm pretty in the middle about it. I don't necessarily care about it, and I don't really like it that much either. You don't like Weird Al? How dare you? I didn't say I didn't like Weird Al. Weird Al is awesome. I love Weird Al. I was saying I'm shocked that they got him to come on twice. Student Council is about Starlight, Trixie, Maud, and Mudbriar surviving a cockatrice swarm? What the fuck? What? What the fuck are you... What the fuck? What? I don't remember that at all. I feel like you just made something up. What the hell? I don't remember that happening at all. I was talking to Pinky. Wait. Oh yeah. They said they didn't like the episode though. They didn't say they didn't like Weird Al. Flower Gaming YT, welcome to the stream. I like Pinky and Cheese episodes. That still portrayed them as friend because of course they wouldn't. Bro, I like that too though. They didn't like canonically like they didn't immediately love each other. You know what I'm saying? They actually in the comics is when you finally get to see them actually like each other, where like they reveal like they actually like each other. And so that's just another example where the comics do some good stuff. For the sake of Silverstream, I swear I'm not insane. I think I might remember that a little bit, but I don't know. You said you didn't like the cheese sandwich episodes, and they thought you didn't like Weird Al because of that, I guess. Weird Al is the person that plays Cheese Sandwich. He's a person in real life that kind of acts similar to Cheese Sandwich does. So it works. Go watch Weird Al stuff now. It's really weird. The Summer Sun Setback. I don't care about that episode. She Talks to Angel. There's that episode where she said she was going to marry Discord. This is actually a really good episode. I don't like that they fucked. Bro. Oh, goodness. Yeah, this was just a great episode. I really like this one. It's kind of a classic, like, they swapped bodies, but it's really interesting because she's swapping with, like, a rabbit, you know, a bunny. So it's interesting that way. Dragon Dropped. This was a good episode too, but it could be a little bit annoying. Oh, Horseshoe Inn. That's the episode I was thinking the council one was. This was a good episode. I liked this one. I liked them doing this, and then them figuring out a spot for Trixie in the school after all and everything. It was nice. Finding a new talent for Trixie was nice, and I think it's interesting for her character to become part of the school here. Daring Doubt. Hate this episode. I hate all of Daring Do's episodes. I just don't like it, especially since it's basically J.K. Rowling, and J.K. Rowling is a terrible person. So. I don't watch real people. They're a musician. They make like parody music, and they also do like weird videos. I kind of feel like Weird Al is closer to a YouTuber than they are like a movie star or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Why do you guys hate the fact that they became a thing? They both love parties. No, I think they were great. I think they were great for each other. I just liked how in the show they didn't immediately love each other. It was after the show. In the comics, they showed how they kind of came to liking each other. It was interesting. Growing Up is Hard to Do. Hate that episode. Big Mac Question. Hate that episode. The Ending of the End Part 1. These are great episodes too. The finale is good. The finale is good. I'm not going to say it's the best episode. It definitely isn't the best episode, but it's whatever. Now, the last problem is interesting. I find it weird that this one is like so high rated because I feel like it was so basic. You know what I'm saying? Because they were great friends with no romantic relation, and then Hasbro was like, "Nah, girl and boy can't be friends," and they just marry and have a child. Oh, I see what you're saying. There's other characters that are like that, though, I think. Is there other characters that are like that? I'm trying to think, man. I don't know. I don't know if I can... I don't know if there is any other episodes that are like that. I think they are the only characters that are like friends that actually... Yeah, I think... Yeah, you have a good point. You have a good point. Little Cheese is a cutie. I think part of that, though, is because it was the only... it was the only canon relationship in the main six. I think that's part of why they did that. Because it was the only way for the main six to get like a proper relationship without having the main six fall in love with each other, like they did with like Rainbow Dash and Applejack. The two worst characters get together. Who would have thought? But I think that's why. I think that's probably why they did that, because it was not only the only straight like friendship they had besides Big Mac, and so they just did it. I think that's why. Goodness gracious! But after all of this, what the heck is my favorite episode? I'm really not sure. But we'll find out soon, and I'll make a video reviewing that episode, talking about it, what I think it does good, what it does bad, how it could maybe be improved, what could possibly have made it worse, you know, just all the good directions they did with it and stuff like that too. They showed that they fell in love in the future, so they had time to develop feelings. Yeah, they developed feelings over time. I think it made sense for them to eventually get together. I really do, because they're so similar to each other. It made sense. It made sense for them to get to develop feelings and get together and stuff like that. But I can see where you're coming from with that. But yeah, man, I hate to say it, but it's probably, goodness gracious, there's a lot of episodes that I'm really fond of. Like in season 6, episode 1 and 2, those are great episodes. Is season 7? Season 7 had some great ones. I think the end of this one, the finale of this, was good too. There was other good stuff in here too, like the Change of Changeling. There's just so many good. There's just so many good. I don't care they ruined that friendship. Well, it'd be like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have any feelings towards this stuff usually. I don't really care who the characters end up with, unless it's like, how the fuck did that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like if they revealed that like Starlight got together with like Applejack and they formed a relationship at the end of the series, if that had happened, I would have had something to say, because that is the most random bullshit thing. Like, what the fuck? What the hell? That would have been so random. But Pinky and Cheese ending up together makes sense. Applejack and Rainbow Dash feels a little bit weird. Like, I'm still not really full in on that, to be honest with you. But they're both terrible characters, so it makes sense. But you know, I think they just wanted to show that each of the characters ended up with somebody, and they got to Pinkie Pie, and they were like, who could Pinkie Pie have ended up with? And they just chose Cheese Sandwich because it was the most obvious choice, because they're so similar. I think that's why that happened. You can still be friends with the person you love. Yeah, well, I mean, that's true, but it's not the same thing. It's different. It's a little bit different. It's a different kind of friendship. There's too many good episodes, bro. I'm gonna have the time of my life. I wrote down a handful of episodes that I think could possibly be my favorite. I'm gonna go through them, and I'm gonna pick one, and then we'll make a video talking about my favorite episode of My Little Pony. But for now, that is gonna do it for the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you did enjoy it and you haven't donated yet, and you are feeling ever so generous, please do consider donating. There is all kinds of perks and rewards you can get for that. But yeah, that's gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do consider also sharing the channel around, sharing some videos and stuff around too, because Pinkie Pie got with male Pinkie Pie. What a surprise. It'd be like that sometimes. Speaking of Starlight, she was Sunburned friend. I forgot his name. Sunburst. They never said explicitly who Starlight ended up with, because at the end, they showed her with Sunburst and Trixie right by her side.